Installing 6-inch by 12-inch kitchen tile. So here's a kitchen in one of my apartments. And about 20 years ago, I did this. It was 12 by 12 stick-on linoleum tile. And it's in dire need of replacing. You can see the discoloration from the gas oven. Turned it all yellow. I was gonna rip it out, but then I noticed not all of them were coming off, so I'm just gonna put hardy blackboard on top of it and then tile. First you want to vacuum it all nice and clean. Then you're going to measure it. You're going to measure the room and trying to find the area. So you want to block it out into 3 sections. 6 times 2 is 12. For this one you want to add 4 plus 3. Which is 7. 7 times 2 is 14. And then 3 times 2 is 6. And then you added those 3 numbers up. Then it's 32 square feet. So first I got hardy backboard. I got the 1/4 inch, the smallest that they have. Now hardy backboard it's a cement board made of 90% Portland cement and sand, but it also can expose you to chemicals that get into your lungs. It's crystalline silica. So what I do is I spray it down with water when I cut and slice it so that the dust doesn't get up in the air. And when you spray it with water, it kind of softens it and it makes it easier to snap. Here I put the piece of box underneath to brace it, and then I kind of stepped on it and it came right off. So you want to cut out the squares in between the pipes. Now I'm using a jab saw or drywall saw to cut the parts out. You just follow the lines too. They make it really easy. Then you want to use the cement board screws. It's 9 by 1 1/4 inch, and the drill bit is included. So what I did is I sprayed water down on the little circles. That's where you want to drill first. It makes it easier. And then you screw in the screws. Kept the dust down. Then I vacuumed all the little pieces up. So here's all the hardy backboard all screwed down. Now this gas oven made me nervous. It's had an old connect, so I just left it in place and I moved it around as I worked. So there's two different types of tile, the edges. There's pressed edge and rectified edge. I chose the rectified edge on this porcelain tile, 6" by 12". It has a sharp finished edge with narrow grout lines, where the pressed edge is rounded and has this thicker grout line. And I use 1/16" spacers, really thin line. So what I did first is I laid out all the tiles. And I used the spacers to guide me. Now this one was all wobbly. So I just screwed down the screws a little bit flatter. But it didn't seem to work. So it must have been something underneath. I just make sure to put more mortar there. So what I did was I traced some of the pieces and I left them all in place. And I worked, when I was going to work on a spot, I lifted up the few rows. And again, I left the gas oven there. So I'm using Mortar. It's an Italian company that was founded in Milan in 1937. I really like their mortar and grout. So they have nice instructions on the bag how to use it. It's really simple. I'm using leftover mortar that I had used for a large tile, but you could use a different type of mortar for smaller tiles. And you want to get this attachment to mix it, and it fits into any drill. So just follow the instructions on the bag. You have to let it sit for a few minutes and then go and mix it again. And you want the consistency semi-thick. So here's the trowel sizes. I'm using the one at the bottom. It's 1/4 by 3/8 by 1/4 trowel. And these are the tools that I'm using. You definitely need water in a spray bottle or a sponge because you want to wet the hardy backboard before you lay the mortar on top. You can spray it down or use a sponge. Now I did have to cut some of these, so I used a Cobalt 7" wet tabletop sliding table tile saw. Mostly, there weren't many, but you want to lay them all out first so you can see the ones that you need to trim. I have another video showing this tabletop saw. So you can use the trowel, the flat edge of the trowel, or you can use a spackle knife. That's what I'm using. So you just want to lay it out. Obviously, I can't see my lines anymore. And then you want to take the trowel and go 45-degree angle and comb the lines. You don't want to swirl them, but comb them in a straight line in one direction. And when you lay the tile, you're going to move it up and down, press down. Now I would use my fingers around the edges or a flat head, and I would pull the excess mortar away. And then I would take the spacer and put it in between. And I would slide the spacer up and down to get the excess mortar out of there too. And always leave a little bit of space around the edges where it meets the cabinet and the wall. And you don't have to back butter these. Back buttering, you put the mortar on the back, but that's only good for 12-inch or larger tiles. So I took my finger and I got the excess mortar around the edges. And what I did was I just reused these spacers. I would just bring them down to the next one. And then made sure they were like perfectly spaced. Now porcelain is good for heavy traffic areas, and it's highly water resistant. It's ideal for bathrooms, kitchens, hallways, and outdoor spaces. And mortar is a mixture of lime with cement, sand, and water. And always wear gloves when using mortar and grout. It dries out your hands really bad. Latex gloves work really well. So you see how I'm moving the spacer down? As I'm working, I'm just sliding them down the grout line to clear it out and then moving them down. Now this section I had to stop. I had to cut these, so I did it the next day. But you have to wait the next day before you grout. When this section dries, I'm going to move the oven over and then retile this part. So I realized this shut-off valve for the gas line was easy to turn off. I just had to hold that nut on the back, loosen it a little, and then turn the switch off. So I first was going to use the grout saw to get in between, but it didn't work very well. So I used a linoleum knife with a curved blade, and I squirted it in between with water, and then I kind of scraped it out. You want these grout lines to be open. So just use water, spray it on. You want to clean these up really nice. You want to get all the mortar off. Just a blade worked the best. And the water helped it come off nice and smooth. And then I went back in with the linoleum knife and I got the excess mortar out. Then you want to vacuum this all up. You want it super clean before you grout it. Now this is a grout flute. This is what you're going to use to spread the grout in the cracks. And make sure to have gloves. And I'm using Mortar grout, flex color. And it's all pre-mixed. You don't have to mix anything. And Lowe's, I got this at Lowe's, and Lowe's has all these different colors. I ordered this one online, Frost. But they have a lot of colors in the store. Kind of feels like sand. So you want to wet the tile first before you put the grout down. It makes it smoother to move it in. So I started to use my hands and I just kind of worked it in. But make sure you wear gloves. Then I used the floater and I kind of moved it into the cracks. Now this section here, the room was uneven and there was a wide gap between the wall, the baseboard, and the tile here. So I just filled it up with grout and I made it as smooth as possible with the floater. So you want to wait another day, let it fully dry, and then you're going to do the same thing. You want to scrape all the excess off. And this little blade seemed to work the best. Then you want to get a nice bucket full of clean water and you're going to sponge it all off. So you might have to do this a few times with the sponge and the water, but you want to get it all up and nice and clean. Here's the finished look. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And feel free to leave a comment. I read all the comments.